little bit of leather and a little bit of lace. My oh my mother had a pretty face. My mother was a goddess, was a pagan. My dad, he was from the stars. He left his face a calling card on a planet Mars.
Yes.
I went to a comic book convention.
Whoa!
I met up with a few people. I met this fella who draws vampires, Vampirilla.
Woohoo! That's gotta be a good movie.
Well, Vampirilla could be a good movie, but this is a comic book about a vampire chick. You want to take a look at this interview?
Sure. Send away!
Hey, I made it. I am in Lake Grove on Zenbox Forte. We're at a comic book convention, and we're going to check out comic books. I guess that's where we are, comic book convention. Got some friends in the crowd, and some people showing comic books, some people you've met, and we're going to find out what's going on in comic books. And you know what? This is on Long Island for a change. We're not in the Big Apple. We're here in Long Island. So it's happening here. Come check this out with me on Zenbox Forte. Ty Bach, where are you? Zenbach is hanging out here. I've got the man. You know, every time you do a comic book convention or an outing, there's somebody that's kind of put the work on it. These things just don't happen. It takes somebody to have some planning and an idea and a dream. And here I am Zenbach, and you are?
I'm Jason McKee.
Jason, talk to me. This is the first convention.
This is my first convention at Sports Plus.
And it's Long Island's, in this part of Long Island, I guess it's the first comic book convention.
Right, yeah, it's the Long Island SuperCon. It's basically the first large show out here. You know, we have some guests. We have got, you know, Peter David, who writes the Hulk and Aquaman and Supergirl, and we've got, you know, the artists of Vampirella and, you know, Marvel Comics. You know, they draw for Marvel. And basically just trying to get, you know, comics to be big out here. You know, every time you want to go to a big show and meet personalities that deal with comics, you got to go out to the city. You know, you got to drive for an hour. Just trying to get some nice, big, fun shows out here.
Yeah, it's nice. You even got a friend of mine, Manon Kelley, is here.
Right.
She's looking great. Absolutely.
Manon's always looking great.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So you've got this show. We're planning another one in the fall, I take it, sometime in October.
Right, sometime in October.
And so it'll be like one in the summer, early summer, and one in the fall.
Right. After the one in the fall, after that, I'm going to go every other month.
All righty. Then you're going to give Mike a good run for his money. From the, yeah, okay.
Yes, I am.
Well, that's good, because there's certainly enough people coming in. And, gosh, we can even get people from Connecticut coming over by ferry out here, too.
I even had one person come from Baltimore, Maryland.
Really? Yeah, Baltimore is one of my main territories, too, for what I do.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, well, give me a little insight. How long have you been into comics?
I've been into comics since the 5th grade.
And
I'm now 25.
Oh, it's 20 years. Hey, that's 2 score. Anyway, let me ask you about the comics. Have you seen a change in the art styles and the drawing and the subjects?
Actually, I've seen the comics in the past few years come back to being a really good medium compared to the end of the 80s, where they were basically just concerned on the covers. You know, they weren't concerned with the stories or the artwork.
Come on through.
How you doing?
You've been seeing a change in the comics these days.
Yes, I have. Basically, I've been seeing a lot of reader-friendly comics coming out in the past few years compared to the late 80s, early 90s of comics, where they were basically interested in putting out a flashy cover, you know, a nice chrome cover or foil on the cover and, you know, charging like $4 or $5 for the cover. Now you're getting for $2.
Right. I actually had some trouble with a Spawn comic the other day. I'm not going to pick on Spawn. My son loves Tybuck loves Spawn. But I had found that particular comic book, the print small and dark. And at 122, my eyes are just not, you know. And I remember the old Superman Lois Lane were big print, you know, and they were very easy to read. But the stories of getting back to basics and all is what I get a kick out of. Do you have any favorite comics current?
Right now, I love all the Batman stuff. Anything that Chuck Dixon writes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a great Batman writer.
You know, and Batman has had many writers, I take it.
Yes, they have. But Chuck Dixon is one of my favorite. Alan Grant also is a good Batman writer.
So now we have a whole subculture of writers and artists and colorists and that whole aspect of it. So have you attempted any comics yourself?
Yes, I have. I don't have any artwork with me, but I'm always trying to write them and draw them, but I leave that up to the professionals.
When did you start diddling with comics on your end?
Probably when I was in like 10th grade.
You know what my first attempt at comics was? You're going to love this. They had this thing called Silly Putty. All right? And I used to read the Herbie comics. Herbie was this big, heavy-set guy with a lollipop in another world, right? So my twisted little brain, sorry about that, folks, insight to Zenbach, is I would take the Silly Putty on the comic, and then when you came up, you had the imprint of the comic with the ink.
Right, that was the original printing press.
Yeah, and then I could stretch Herbie just the way I wanted to see him. You know, but I could never draw that image, you know, but I would imagine that was the Bizarro comics, the old Superman that drew things like that.
Right.
Probably don't remember that, do you, Bizarros?
I pick them up once in a while.
You know. So, well, I'm going to be going inside and checking out what's going on and what you've got put together on there. And a first show is very unique because usually the first shows are a learning curve. And I find it usually very difficult for anybody to put together any kind of show and be as calm as this man is right here. But he's doing very well. Everybody's in the other room. They're all the players are in position. And so we're going to go and check that out. And I thank you for inviting us, by the way.
I thank you for coming.
Alrighty, and maybe we'll perform here. Maybe we'll get a Galactic Boogie Band and come back here and do a little music for you guys. So
whenever you're ready to boogie down.
We're ready. Alrighty, guys, we're going to up and go on Zenbach's Forte. Here I am, Zenbach, and I'm here. I've caught myself with an artist, Louis Small Jr. Hi, I'm Zenbach.
Hi, Zenbach. How you doing?
How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing excellent. I'm here in Long Island.
Long Island. Yeah. There's even a drink named into this place.
Yeah. I haven't had it, but
yeah. Well, there is one. So, tell my people what you do.
Well, me being Louis Small Jr., I draw comic books. I draw Vampirella almost exclusively. I've been doing that for about 6 years, drawing Vampirella and other things. I just finished some Kazar comic books for Marvel. I just did a 10-page Supergirl story and a bunch of other things. I do portraits and fantasy illustration, mostly artwork for females, exotic females I draw.
Basically a man's fantasy, and even some of the women's too.
I draw, yeah, a lot of women. I do I do this stuff almost every day. I draw these pencil sketches of exotic women and other things.
I guess I'm going to say it. It's a hard job, and somebody's got to
do it, and I do it. I do it every day.
So you get to travel around too?
All around the world.
Yeah. You just got back from where?
Jamaica. Just doing Playboy thing that was night calls for the Night Calls TV show, and we did the toga parties and the wet T-shirts and stuff, and body painting for a woman named Ivy Supersonic, and she's based in New York, and we're going to have a nude wedding coming out there in a couple months, and I'll be going back.
So I take it it's not dull.
No, it's not dull. No, I have extreme fun all the time.
Extreme fun all the time. All right, well, on the table, and we'll scan this for our viewers to see, you have anything here that's, either a favorite at the moment, or I may say they're all favorites, obviously, but, anything that you want to show or talk about?
Well, there are a few favorites here. One is this one.
They're probably all favorites. But
Shard for, yeah, most of them are. The Shard for Marvel Comics did in pencil. I found a friend that looked similar to her, and I'm really happy about, especially the weapon. The weapon and her expression in this, and a few of these other X-Men pieces right here, like Bishop and Rogue and Psylocke. Really like that. And this cover for Vampirella, of course, I was very proud of.
Wow, very nice. I like the attitude in her. It's very, very strong, you know.
I was going to put the Predator in the background. I never got around to it.
My son, I have a 9-year-old Vulcan boy, Tybok, and every time we talk about Predator, he goes... He loves, yeah, they're always up in a tree. You're always looking for predators. Comic books, over here. This one over here is
That's Kazar. And shall I hold it?
Yeah, you can hold that.
Okay. That's Kazar. And that is issue number 12, I believe, yes. It just came out like about 3 months ago. And the rest of the ones I did are mostly sold out, I guess. I just did a supplement, a piece in the Witchblade supplement that came out from Wizard just this month, June. And I did, there were 10 characters, female characters. What if Vampirella, for instance, was had the Witchblade gauntlet, so on.
Okay, I'm going to ask some questions here. How long have you been doing comics, art actually? 6 years. But when did you actually start drawing?
I believe it was around 5.
Yeah?
5 till 12. I stopped drawing when I was 12.
Yeah. And when did you realize this was it?
When I was in Saudi Arabia back in 91 or 2. I
Vacation?
Right. 9 months vacation in Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
Out in the sand, and I decided it's time to do something else.
You know, and the amount of work that you're doing, each project is, you take on one at a time, or is a bunch and you have to manage them?
No more than 3 at a time.
No more than three at a time. And when you work with one model at a time and complete that, or?
No, I work with several models at a time. Depending on the project, I might have anywhere from 3 to 5 models working on a few books.
You do photographs with the models first for reference, or you just work with them posing?
The first thing I do if a model's posing for a comic book, I will sketch it out like, stick figures, and then I'll tighten up the figure, and then I'll get a model to pose for to make it even more exact.
So you actually have a body position in mind when you go to...
Right, I always do. So I usually use models to tighten the things up to perfection.
The body mechanics in that. Do you ever come up with poses that the body mechanics just don't work?
That's correct. Yes, I do. Especially for comic books, that happens all the time. But if you know the body well enough, you can correct.
Right. Yeah, I'm just asking this because it just seems to me that the positions in the comic books look awful hard to do on some of them.
Most of them are impossible.
Fairly impossible. Fairly impossible.
Unless you fell out of a building and broke all your bones.
But you got to still look beautiful.
Yeah, you can still.
You got to look beautiful. And the Xena.
I met her about 8 months ago when she was on Broadway, I believe. And I drew that for her, and I drew this other piece right here for Jackie Chan.
Interesting.
These are all in pencil, just regular number 2 pencils,
Number 2?
Yeah, number 2, high school pencil. So almost all of these are done in pencil. The rest, of course, are obviously in color or India ink.
Well, this is great stuff. Absolutely great. What's with the cards?
The cards they were in a Wizard magazine several months ago. They were a giveaway with the magazine, sealed in plastic like this Wizard magazine.
Wow. Have they ever done anything like with calendars or poster type pictures? You. Can you touch any of that yet?
I'm doing my own, but I'm also doing books on exotic women, but I'm also doing a calendar of exotic women.
Right. That sounds... so when you do the cards and... oh, that sounds great.
I do it all. I'm meeting the average woman, everyday woman, and it doesn't matter how heavy or how lightweight she is, because one of the women, actually 2 of the women I'm using are over 200 pounds, and the lightest weight ones are around 95 pounds. It doesn't matter as long as they look exotic and they take care of themselves. You know, like they look. You know.
Do you find that when you draw somebody, they have to have sort of an essence, a spark shoot to motivate you?
The personality has to be there first. Of course, we're all attracted initially by, you know, the looks. But the personality has to be there, and we have to get along before I even say yes to her, you know, or, you know, take photos. Because if I took the photos and I really didn't get along with her, I wouldn't want to draw her.
Right. So, and you find a lot of the quote average girls that you meet are maybe the harder working models.
Harder working, you said?
Well, hard as far as they put out, as far as getting the energy to get the position and the poses.
Right, they do. Right.
Yeah, they're eager to.
They're usually a lot better than the professional models.
You know,
and, these are people I meet on the street or at shows, or they're referred to me by other women or men. You know, they're just like I've got doctors, lawyers, you know, marketing consultants. I've got a Harvard lawyer that posed. Wow, I even have 2 police officers. So I have everybody.
I saw one on Playboy a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You don't need a suggestion, but I'll make this to you. You should do a book of the earthly goddesses.
A book of the earthly.
Yeah, you obviously can capture that.
Yeah. Might be a good idea. Don't tell anybody.
Don't tell anybody. Well, thank you very much on Zenbox Forte. Hey, we're here. Thank you. Zenbox. Well, Zenbox has got to another unusual corner of the room. How you doing, man?
I'm doing very good. And you?
Great, and better now.
Yeah.
You're looking good, my dear.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thanks.
So, we're not now in the turf of New Jersey, and we're not in the turf of New York City.
Nope.
We are actually at home.
In Long Island.
Long Island. What brings you to this place of Lake Grove?
Well, this comic book convention, it's a first, actually, so I wanted to give it a try, and especially that it was here on the island, you know, close to my home.
I have a thing for your eyes, girl. I have a thing for your eyes. Well, among other things.
I have a thing for your ears.
She melts me every time. All righty. Well, I'm going to disappear.
Okay.
I hate to say. I'll probably see you a few months in Chiller.
Yes.
Chiller. And if you come back here, we have a comic convention. We'll be back here again in the fall.
Definitely.
Because it happens on Long Island. Hey, guys, you guess what? This is a Long Island girl. I'm going to do what I do. This is another way. Take a look. Just check this out, guys. Zenbox is... I think we'll let's go. Let's go together. Come on. You know, I want to talk to you about my spaceship. I have this problem with the ship. Peter, I'm Zenbox. How are you?
Fine.
So, we've been crossing paths. You've been in the background of my TV show. And another Long Islander, huh? So, Peter, we got a Hulk novel here, huh?
Yeah, this is a book that I wrote back in 1995. Byron Price puts out a series of Marvel Comics-based novels, and they asked me if I wanted to do a Hulk one, and I said sure, and pounded this one out, and I was actually fairly pleased with it.
How long does it take to do something like that?
This particular one took me about a month and a half.
Where does one come up with an idea for that? I mean, is it just dreams, or thinking about it?
It's just a matter of determining what if such and such happened. If I weren't, you know, people always say, where do writers get their ideas? It's kind of a silly question, because if one were not able to come up with ideas, one would not be a writer. It's just a skill. It's like saying to a heart surgeon, how can you pick up a human heart and hold it in your hands? Well, if they couldn't do that, they wouldn't be a heart surgeon.
Okay. Yeah, no, it amazes me just the creativity. I know on our idea, on our show, we come up with weird skits and we just do it. And the ideas can pop up on doing absolutely nothing to do with thinking of the show. You know, just boom, what if this happens? And all, and you know. So we've been passing company at Icon. I had a kick out of Icon this year, by the way. It was a very different crowd. The convention has grown, and the island now seems to be getting more events going. This convention here is a new one, and they're talking about trying to pull this off in the fall as well. And I'm hoping we can air us by the fall. And you get to stay on the island much yourself? You get to travel around?
I get out. Next month I'll be going to Mexico, and I'll be going to England after that, so that'll be fun. I'm going down to Atlanta for Dragon Con.
Yeah, I wanted to go there. I'm hoping next year to go.
And in September, I'm going out to Wisconsin, which is not exactly on the level of the other places, but on the other hand, it's a convention that Neil Gaiman and Harlan Ellison will be at.
Where's that, you know?
Offhand, I don't remember.
Yeah, I have friends in Kenosha. I didn't even know they had anything going up there. That would interest me, too. The Dragon Con convention, what's that like? You been in there before?
Oh, yeah. It's very large. It's just grown phenomenally since it first started. They have maybe 20,000 people attending.
Good grief.
Tracks in science fiction, comic books, media, that sort of thing.
I was talking to Apollo Smile about this. She performs there, and she has her comic thing in there. And she considers that like one of her favorite conventions as far as the happenings and the fans and the crowd in there. So I'm hoping next year to get down there myself and check that one out. Hello. Little humans. We have little humans here. So, alrighty, well, you got anything coming up? Anything new things going?
Well, I continue to write Supergirl for DC, and I'm also going to be doing a new series called Young Justice, which is going to feature the adventures of Robin, Impulse, and Superboy.
Really?
Yeah, and that'll be coming out in July. And I do another book called Soul Searchers and Company for a small outfit called Claypool Press.
Wow.
And I keep myself entertained.
Sounds it. The Supergirl stuff. Let me ask you a couple questions on Supergirl. You know, the comic has evolved over the years. They took her out of Smallville long ago, huh?
Well, yeah.
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 You know, and they got very contemporary on it and all, and then they got a TV show going with that now? Or are they working on it? They had.
No, not to my knowledge.
No.
An animated version of Supergirl has shown up in the Superman animated series.
Okay.
But to the best of my knowledge, there's no separate TV show at the moment for Supergirl.
There is an animated show, okay. I thought my son mentioned something about Supergirl. I haven't seen it.
There was a movie some years back with Helen Slater, but it was fairly bad.
Yeah. So, well, that I got to check into. So, well, I thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
I am Zenbach, and you're not. I'm Zenbach, and you are Mike. Mike. I'm getting shot. I'm getting chirped at. Our paths cross here and there. We never had you on camera before.
Not yet.
No. First time. So tell me what you do. I know you do something here at a convention.
Collectables. Anything from Star Wars, Star Trek to
Rodan.
Rodan, to Batman. Everything. We got books, we got records, we have videos, toys, everything.
I guess I got to ask the questions. You started Collectables as a hobby?
Yes, it did.
What makes...
25 years ago.
25 years ago. Okay. And Star Trek conventions were coming up then.
Yeah, I was at the first, and the second, and the third, and the fourth.
Really? And you travel around with these a little bit?
I have, but I haven't been doing it lately.
Yeah. So you're basically what I'd call the con family, the team of people that know what it's like to pack up in the middle of the night and set up in the morning. Been doing it a while.
For a long time.
Alrighty. Well, I guess I'm going to ask a couple questions. First of all, you got collectibles that you're selling. Does that mean there are collectibles that you wouldn't sell?
Right, there's some stuff I don't want to sell.
What makes a collectible something, as a collector, an item you sell today, and maybe when you bought it you wouldn't? I'm just curious.
Well, certain things you buy to invest to sell. Certain things you buy because you like.
Okay, so you could buy a bunch of something and maybe hold on to the one and wait till the value goes up.
Exactly.
So, what's your favorite item that you got out here? Or show me some of your favorite items.
I think my favorite one would probably be the Rodan I like.
Hold on. I like Rodan. You know what was cool at Rodan? There was this egg scene where the eggs were hatching, and this guy was having this dream by looking at a parrot, a little parakeet, in his girlfriend, I think, or his wife's apartment. And there was these giant ants.
He was in the hospital.
He was in a hospital, and there was these giant ants. And in this mine, they had little parrots that if the parrots died, there was gas, and there was earthquakes or something, and then the ants were protecting the eggs, and the eggs hatched, and all of a sudden, Rodan. I waited online to see that at the Calderon Theater in Hempstead.
I saw it in Brooklyn myself.
Really? Yes. I saw that with a movie called The Thing That Couldn't Die.
I saw it with about 25 cartoons.
Well, I thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you. Nice evening.
Alrighty, I'm going to head that way. How you doing there, Spider-Man? Pretty cool. Wolverine or something like that? Wrestlers. Lou Ferrigno, maybe? Oh, look at that. Sting, I guess. The Hulk Man. This one here, I don't know what he is, but I know he's one of the managers. Batman, he's pretty cool. I got a cousin on the table. I really have a cousin. How you doing? Doesn't want to talk to me. Some more strange people. Here's a guy who's got no face. Oh yeah, there's a hologram in there. You'll probably never be able to see that on camera, but there's a hologram in there. Very cool stuff. And cards, collectible cards down this way. Here's where I walk in front of the camera. William, I had a William Shatner lookalike on, and I love your hair.
Mom didn't get that one.
Classic comic books. It says 15 cents, and this guy's got it marked up to $5. And if I buy it for $5, I could probably sell it for 10. That's the thing about collectible stuff. I love it. Uncle Tom's Cabin. Okay. Cool. Things have never changed. I don't know. Maybe they have. Metal Man. You've heard of metal music? Metal Man. Metamorphed? Wow. The Element Man. This guy's drippy. There's a drippy guy in there. Now here's Action Comics. I remember these 10-cent comics. Now what I like about these 10-cent comics is these are collectibles. My mother threw out about 100 of these. And from the looks of that, she probably threw out a lot of savings from me. I don't know. We had Dell Comics. We had Lois Lane. I had Jimmy Olsen Comics. I had it all. But back then, they were just in the way, and part of a childhood, they disappeared. So you're learning, kids, to hold on to those goodies that you collect, because someday they may be worth something. And, you know. And on the back wall, I'm looking at the back wall, I see Pogo and Cisco Kid.
The Hellboy statue and the Spider-Man on the gargoyle head are both limited edition statues from France. The Hellboy's 550 made. The Spider-Man, I think, is under 2,000. They're all porcelain, hand-painted. The others are from America, but they're also hand-painted porcelain. They range in price essentially from $25 to $325. You know, most of them are limited edition, under 5,000. The least edition is 500. So, that's John Constantine, the Hellblazer. Wolverine. Rogue. Spider-Man. Hellboy.
Hellboy.
Yeah. Preacher. Preacher.
Oh, I thought it was Ringo Starr. I know him.
Yep.
I know
Joker.
him.
Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing? Wow, he looks very beefy. We've had her on the show.
Yeah.